Hey everybody, Postman just dropped off another package and we are playing the home game of What Did Mama Vi buy today? Now, as I am looking at my own reflection in the camera and realize that I'm sparkling in different places, I would love to tell you it's because of my radiant personality. The reality is I got glittered about an hour ago and I'm still brushing, what do they call it, craft cooties? Off my face, off my clothes, off my desk, and off my rug. But anyway, I have no idea because I can't remember. But let's find out together. This is also the reason why I am perpetually broke. But whatever it is, it's probably antique or rare or something to that effect. So we're going to find out together what it is that I bought, because based on the date this was shipped, and you know how the U.S. Postal Service has been doing lately, this has been bopping around the United States for, it looks like, about 3 weeks. Okay, you know me, so definitely a book. The question is, which one? As I figure out where to cut, because bubble wrap is its own sort of crazy. And when you mix bubble wrap with a lot of tape, everything arrives beautifully securely. But one must also be careful taking it out of its plastic prison. I'm sorry, did I say prison? I probably should have said packaging. Sex Lives in France. Now, for those of you who remember some of the stories of the first book that started the library, which was the history of sex lives in England, there have been a number of variations on that book that were done from the 20s, 30s, into the 40s. But Sex Lives in France has had at least 3 different publishers also. And I bought this one out of curiosity because a volume, identical text, that I probably purchased, I would say 5 or 6 years ago, had a frontage piece, which is the picture that is opposite the title page. That was incredibly rare. As a matter of fact, it was so rare, the picture stumped Google. The photo was called Disciplining Hera, and it was a picture of the god Zeus spanking his wife while their son, Eros, who is also the messenger of the gods, was watching what was happening sub rosa. And that's a term very rarely heard today. It means under the rose, which is a nice way of saying whatever the young messenger saw, he could not repeat. So we have the title page, Sex Lives in France. This is another Panurge press. And I've talked about some of the great publishers that put out our works in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. This is a Panurge press, copyright 1935. And what I was curious about was this. And that's about the only flash that I can give you if we post this up on Facebook, because Facebook seems to either have it in for me, and yes, I could take that personally, or simply that the very nature of what it is that we do is constantly violating Facebook parameters. Not that anything kind of really showed in that picture, but I've been in Facebook jail too many times. And although I consider it a red badge of courage that I'm a repeat offender, I also don't want to get thrown off Facebook, because then I can't share things like that with you. Now, this is an interesting piece, about 300 pages of reading, thank God in English, because we have an awful lot of wonderful things that are actually in French. But what tickles me is that they list the illustrations that are in the book. And you know me, I have gone off more than once about people, mostly art dealers, who are going through our books and pulling out the illustrations. So while I have no idea what the illustrations in this book are going to look like, I'm just going to make sure at least one of them is there. So it says we have an erotic comic strip on page 39. So we're just going to see what these nice people think an erotic comic strip should look like. Let's see, 35. Let's try that one again. Oh no, am I going to have to go off on people? No. Now, I will be studying this later, but for those of you who are fascinated, there we go. So, another book for the Library Rare Book Room, and the illustrations are intact. Yes. Now, if you would like to come and see this volume of Sex Lives in France and maybe compare it to one of the other volumes that we have, they're waiting for you in the Rare Books Room. So until I can show you these in person, see you at least here on Facebook and on the Facebook channel, or I should say on the library channel, excuse me. And you can watch our antics, our exploits, and my purchases there.